As a mechanic, I've heard some wild fuel-saving advice, but myth Zine 5 actually burns more gas while making you think you're saving it. Research from the US Department of Energy shows that small car can waste nearly a cup of fuel every hour idling in neutral. But if you're in gear going downhill, it uses none at all. That's money out of your tank. And another myth, I've seen drivers brag about it at the pump, while it's quietly wrecking their car. And if you think that's bad, wait for myth number 14. It flips a decades-old belief on its head. We're talking real data, hands-on tests, and stories straight from my shop that'll change the way you fill up forever. Stick around, because by the end you'll know exactly which tips to ditch. If saving fuel and cash is your thing, hit subscribe for the next myth-busting run. Myth number 15. Premium fuel is performance fuel. For any car, I've lost count of how many times a customer swore that premium gas would unlock hidden horsepower in their engine. One guy even called it designer water for his car. Truth is, unless your engineers built that compression monster to need a higher octane rating, you're just lining the oil company's profit margins. Your computer won't suddenly boost timing beyond its EQ limits. Modern systems are designed to resist pre-ignition, not hand out bonus ponies. I once did a cost per mile check for a buddy's regular 87 gas daily driver, extra dollars for zero gain. Another time, I had a manual driving customer convinced premium fuel would make his shifts feel smoother. Nope, still the same manuals, still the same hidden disappointment. Think of it like buying extra toppings for a pizza that's already full. Pointless and pricey. If your manual says optimal fuel is 87, trust it. Want performance? Spend that cash on maintenance, not the pump. Alright, that one's busted. Now let's clear up another common one you've probably heard. Myth number 14. Topping off the tank means extra value. I had a customer once who thought that one more squeeze after the pump clicks was pure extra savings. 2 weeks later, he's in my shop with a soaked charcoal canister. Liquid fuel had flooded his evaporative emission system. That repair wasn't cheap. Replacement costs for these parts can easily top a few $100. And if your tank is already full, that bonus gas is either going back into the station's recovery setup or dripping on the ground. I've also seen spills leave corrosive streaks on paint, especially bad when hot summer sun bakes it in. Worse, in warm temps that gas expands, causing overflow or even a leak. Modern systems are designed to stop fueling at the nearest safe point, so forcing more in only wastes money and adds risks. If you want value, skip the overfill and save your cash for maintenance. Okay, so that trick's out. Here's one that might surprise you even more. Myth number 13. Turning off AC saves huge on fuel. Last summer I ran a little test with my own car. Same route, same speeds, one run with AC blasting, another with windows open. In the city, the difference in MPG was barely 1%. On the highway though, those open windows created drag that made the engine work harder, actually burning more gas than the AC. Modern climate control systems are crazy efficient now. Most only reduce fuel economy by a couple %. And let's be honest, sitting in a hot cabin in summer traffic just to save pennies isn't worth the comfort loss. Plus, cool air keeps you alert, especially on long highway drives. If you're chasing fuel savings, focus on gentle throttle use and tire efficiency, not killing your ventilation. Myth number 12. E85 fuel is just watered down gas. I once had a turbo customer swear off E85 because it's just watered down gasoline. The truth, E85 is a blend of about 85% ethanol and 15% gas. And that high octane rating, often over 100, can let turbo engines run more compression without detonation. In a properly compatible flex fuel system, it can unlock real performance and power gains, especially for tuned setups. Sure, ethanol has less energy per gallon, so efficiency, MPG drops. But the benefits can outweigh that for certain builds. I've seen racing teams swear by it for both price and performance, using E85 to keep temps down and timing aggressive. On the flip side, if your design isn't compatible, wrong seals, undersized injectors, you're asking for damage and possible corrosion in the system. For daily drivers, it's about knowing the pros and cons. If cost savings at the pump matter more than max horsepower, stick to regular fuel. But if you're chasing every bit of safe boost your turbo can handle, E85 might just be your best kept secret. Myth number 11. Coasting in neutral is the smart way to save gas. Last week I hooked my car up to a scan tool to watch the computer's fuel cutoff mode, DFCO, in action. This is when it shuts the fuel injectors completely while coasting in gear. Cruising downhill in gear, the computer instantly told the injectors to cut all fuel zero consumption while rolling. But the moment I popped it into neutral, the engine had to idle, and the fuel injection system kept feeding small amounts just to keep it running. That means modern cars actually save more in gear by letting gravity do the work without touching the throttle. And here's the kicker. It's not only about fuel. You lose engine braking and control on hills and neutral, which can turn dangerous fast. The foot pedal won't give you instant response, and your clutch and transmission aren't designed for constant coasting shifts. I've seen drivers glaze over this fact, but the sensor data doesn't lie. Try the scan yourself. Watch those numbers drop to zero when DFCO kicks in. So tell me, are you still coasting thinking it saves gas, or will you trust the way your car's system was designed to work? That's the truth about that. Now onto a myth that's fooled drivers for decades. Myth number 10. Big brand gas is always better. A customer once swore his engine ran smoother on a certain brand because the station had a fancier logo. What he didn't know is that most stations in a region get their gasoline from the same refinery. It travels through a shared pipeline network before splitting to different companies. The base fuel is the same, the only difference is in the additives each brand blends in its storage terminal. These detergents, lubricants, and other chemicals are more about long-term maintenance than instant performance. Top-tier fuels do meet higher standards for quality, with more detergents to keep deposits down. But federal regulations already set strict requirements for all fuel. Even budget stations must pass the same standards before deliveries go out. Seasonal blend laws mean distribution changes depending on climate, not brand. I've seen drivers pay extra thinking it boosts mileage or octane. Truth is, the gains are tiny unless your car actually needs it. So would you still spend more for the marketing, or just focus on proper maintenance and a reliable supply? Myth number 9. Running low on fuel cleans out the tank. A guy once told me he kept his fuel level low on purpose to flush his tank. In reality, all that does is stir up sediment and particles sitting at the bottom. Your pump pulls from the same spot whether it's full or empty, so if there's debris or other contaminants, it's getting sucked into the lines either way. That's why your filter exists, to keep junk out of the engine and system. But push your luck too far and you risk clogging it, starving the engine and racking up repair costs. There's another problem: cooling. Your pump relies on fuel for heat control, and driving with a nearly empty tank makes it run hotter. Over time, that heat can overheat components, increase wear, and lead to early replace build. I've seen modern pumps last years with good maintenance, and I've seen bad habit drivers burn them out in months. So is saving a quick trip to the station worth the risks? Or would you rather avoid unnecessary damage and keep that tank above a quarter? Myth number 8. Morning fill-ups save money. A buddy once told me he only fills up in the morning because the cool air makes gasoline denser, giving him more volume for the same cost. I grabbed a thermal thermometer and ran a little test, checked the temperature of the underground tank, fuel at my local station in the early day and late at night. The readings? Practically stable. These tanks sit deep enough that ambient air, heat or cold, barely makes a change. Here's the kicker. Pumps are calibrated to deliver the right volume regardless of density, and most storage systems keep things consistent. Unless your fuel's stored in a metal drum in the sun, you're not seeing real saving. Sure, expansion happens once it's in your car's tank, especially in hot weather, but that's a myth. That morning timing fixes it. If anything, topping off in heat can cause overflow. So if you want better MPG, skip the clock watching and focus on maintenance. If you thought that was bad, wait until you hear this next one. Myth number 7. Oil additives are instant engine fixes. I had a customer walk in clutching a bottle of oil additives, swearing the claims would restore lost compression in his tired engine. This one was packed with molybdenum and zinc boosters, promising coating protection for metal components and instant performance gains. The truth? These miracle formulas might slightly change viscosity and thickness, giving a temporary seal effect that hides wear, but they don't fix the root damage. I've seen tests where the improvement lasted a week, just long enough for the cost to feel like a waste. Some products have detergents that can help clean sludge or free sticky seals, but if you've got leaks or serious compression loss, no additive is a replacement for real maintenance. Mechanic work solves the issue, bottles solve the symptom. In some cases, additives can even upset friction balance and cause more damage. Think of them as a tool for specific problems, not a magic cure-all. Before we bust the next one, Tap subscribe so you don't fall for the next fuel myth making the rounds. Myth number 6. Driving slower always saves fuel. A customer once bragged that he kept driving under 40 mph everywhere to save fuel. I ran a test and his MPG was worse than at 55. Why? Every engine has a sweet spot for efficiency. Often between 50 and at speed, your gear ratios and engine load hit the best balance for consumption. Go too slow and the transmission sits in lower gears longer, increasing power demand and rolling resistance from the tire. On the flip side, higher speed increases aero drag and wind resistance, which grows exponentially. Your engine has to accelerate harder just to maintain highway pace. I've seen modern cars with cruise control nail perfect efficiency when set in that optimal range. The trick isn't crawling in the slow lane, it's finding the pace your car was built to run most efficiently. Myth number 5. Revving before turning off the engine is good for it. Last week, a guy came into the shop with a worn-out starter and insisted it was bad luck, not his nightly revving habit. Back in old carburetor days, a quick throttle blip before turning the car off could help clear excess fuel. But in modern engines, injectors already shut off cleanly at idle, and that extra throttle just dumps fuel for no reason. You're not priming the system, you're adding waste, heat, and unnecessary stress. I've seen practice like this cause oil pressure spikes right before shutdown, pushing extra strain on bearings and other components. Over time, that can mean more wear, higher maintenance bills, and even damage to the starter during the next startup. The belief that it's good is just that. A belief not backed by engineering. So unless you enjoy fixing problems you made yourself, skip the final rev. Alright, let's shift gears to something even more misunderstood. Myth number 4. Idling to warm up the car is necessary. One customer told me his winter habit was idling his car for 10 minutes every morning to warm it up. In modern vehicles with fuel injection, that's just fuel weight. A cold start does need a little extra fuel, but the quickest way to reach proper temperature is to drive gently. I've measured it. Moving warms the engine and oil faster, reducing wear on cylinder walls and other components. There's another angle most people ignore. Your catalytic convert, it only hits peak efficiency when hot, meaning extended idling pumps more pollution and emissions into the air before the system is even ready to clean them. Long warm-ups can also strip the oil coating, further hurting performance and increasing maintenance needs. Instead of waiting in your driveway, start driving within 30 seconds. Just avoid heavy throttle until it's fully warm. Myth number 3. Fuel additives can replace maintenance. A customer once rolled in waving a bottle of fuel additives, certain it would improve his MPG and performance overnight. The claims sounded good. Clean the engine and injectors, boost efficiency, maybe fix idle. But most tests show results are minimal and often temporary. I've seen aftermarket devices and gadgets that promise even more, but they usually deliver nothing but a lighter wallet. The worst part? Some products leave residues that damage sensors or the catalytic convert. Good maintenance is still the real solution. If the system is dirty, use quality fuel with proven detergents, not snake oil in a flashy label. Most of these miracle fixes won't repair worn components or solve the real problem. They just mask it for a while. In my shop, I tell people spend that cost on oil changes, filters, and tune-ups. Those basics improve efficiency and longevity far more than pouring hope into a bottle. Myth number 2. Using higher octane in summer improves efficiency. I had a customer swear that switching to higher octane in the summer boosted MPG and performance. The reality, unless your engine was built to require that octane to prevent detonation or knock, it's just extra cost with no gain. Refineries already change the blend seasonally, adjusting the fuel's volatility, basically how easily it vaporizes in heat, so gasoline handles summer temps better. This means vapor pressure is lowered in hot months to prevent fuel loss and starting issues. Not something octane fixes. I've seen people confuse ratings with quality, but regular fuel in summer already meets regulations for temperature-specific performance. Adding higher octane doesn't improve efficiency unless your design demands it. It just sits there unused. If your car is tuned for 87, it won't suddenly make more power or stop a mileage loss. Seasonal adjusted fuel is optimized for your climate right out of the pump. Myth number 1. Shutting engine off at every stop is always better. I had a customer brag about shutting his engine off at every stop, even at a traffic light, thinking it was always better for fuel saving. In reality, modern cars handle short idles efficiently, and the benefit of killing the engine for just a few seconds is tiny. Worse, constant start cycles can add wear to the starter and related components, raising maintenance costs. Unless your design is built for it, you're trading pennies in fuel for dollars in repairs. Hybrid cars are different. Their technology and system are designed to reduce emissions and maximize efficiency by automatically shutting down without stressing parts. In a non-hybrid, frequent starts aren't as seamless and the situation matters. If you're stopped for longer than 30 seconds, like at a railway crossing, shutting off can make sense. But for quick pauses, the savings are minimal. Final thoughts. If there's one thing these myths prove, it's that cars don't run on rumors. They run on physics, engineering, and a little common sense. The stuff your uncle swore by in the 80s might have worked for carburetors. But modern fuel injection and ECUs have changed the game. So next time someone at the pump tells you their secret trick for better mileage, you'll know whether it's worth trying or worth smiling politely and walking away. Stick to good maintenance, drive smart, and trust what your car's systems are already doing for you. That way you're not just saving fuel, you're saving yourself from a world of expensive, avoidable repair.